What I want to do right now is I want to talk a little bit about, do a little user tip, and Daniel, please hop in with any extra comments and just interrupt. What I want to talk today about for user tip is older or new users of technology and how you can become much more familiar with both Canvas and how to use the video teleconferencing and other services that are available to you on the net. Now, a little personal story. So I grew up in sort of an in-between time during the 80s, and the first computer I had was a Commodore 64 with a tape drive. And that was when I was anywhere from 14 to 16 years old. So I do understand the time before we had the internet and really lots of personal computers. And I remember when I first got this device that I was afraid that I was going to break it. And so I also was not used to, when I was programming in BASIC, that if I made a mistake, the only thing that could happen is the program wouldn't work. There was nothing that I could do in terms of typing in commands or something that would destroy the computer, destroy the physical part. Now, sure, I could make a complete mess of the program that I had created, but if you had a backup copy, which I usually did on one of those tape drives, then I was all set. Now, I'm 47 right now, and if you're above, let's say 45, about 45 years old, you may still be really afraid of, when you're logging on or when you're using computers, that you're going to screw up the physical computer itself. And you really don't need to, number one, you don't really need to worry about that. But the second thing is, the biggest piece is the computers and the technology. You need to integrate and have it be fun. And make it feel natural and in terms of your usage. And the only way, the best way to do that, in my opinion, is by a suggestion to play games. And so one of the things that makes people more comfortable with video teleconferencing, for example, or even creating programs and using Canvas, is if you start playing computer games with other people. So a suggestion or a tip that I have for you is become a gamer, and become a gamer of a certain type of game. And these are what are called MMORPGs, which the most famous one is Worlds of Warcraft. And you can go to a place called, you can go to World of Warcraft, Google it, and you can download for a month a free section of the game, which will allow you to create a character. And what you do with this is you create a character, and in the game itself, there's a tutorial. It teaches you how to use Worlds of Warcraft, and it's really, really simple. You start off with really simple missions, but the neat thing is that you also have a couple of things that we're using with Canvas. One is a chat function, which is when you go online, you're going to find yourself interacting with people from all over the world, and you can get into conversations with them. When I was a new father, the boys would be in the crib taking their afternoon nap, and I had about an hour where I was sort of like by myself, and while I should probably have been taking a nap, I just needed to sort of escape. So I would escape by logging online and playing Worlds of Warcraft. And what's really, really interesting is, after a couple of weeks, somebody said in the chat room, in the chat function in the dialog box, they said, "Oops, my child just woke up. I've got to go feed them." And then a whole bunch of people say, "Wait, you mean you play when the kids are napping too?" And so when you start to play these games and also start to go online, you'll find that there are communities that you can connect to, and communities of people that probably are really, who have the same interests and some of the same issues that you're dealing with. And gaming can be a way to connect with people and, again, feel comfortable and learn how to use different kinds of technology. If you're not interested in sort of Worlds of Warcraft, I'd ask you to take a look at probably one of the largest, I think it's the 4th or the 5th largest online video um, online video producer on the planet, and that's the website Twitch, 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 which is a huge network of people who are online playing games and talking to other people while they're playing games. And you can use that service to figure out what kind of MMORPG you're interested in. But also, if you're a teacher and you're, let's say, and you don't have a huge amount of experience with technology, you can use Twitch to see how people use free video teleconferencing software to engage different communities and people from all over the planet, and use that as a way to learn about the tech and learn about the games, and also maybe take some of those lessons in interaction to your Canvas class. So play some games, have some fun, and as you become more comfortable with the technology, that's going to be reflected in your course development work and also in your course design. And believe me, students will take notice that you are a gamer, and you can understand what the tech is doing. Daniel, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I was just about to say something about Twitch on there, but then you got in there. No, Twitch is absolutely great. If you enjoy watching or if you can enjoy watching computer games as a spectator sport, so you can watch somebody else playing the computer game, a really cool, amazing playthroughs. Even all of your old games, the ones that you used to have on your old computer, perhaps even stop with on your Commodore 61. But there's so many fun games on there that you can watch, and there's so much that you can learn on there. Only about what how the game is played, how the different the MMORPGs are played. Really fun to see that.
And it's also incredible to watch. There's a woman named Felicity Day who created a web series that was only available on the internet called The Guild, which was about people who played Worlds of Warcraft, and it was kind of a sitcom comedy. She now has a very large network of shows that she has produced, and all of which are outside sort of the local mainstream media. So you can see how this technology is being used to sort of empower individuals and smaller groups rather than just these huge corporations. And the viewers, I took a look at one feed this morning, and it was with a person who was playing the latest version of Worlds of Warcraft, and she had 20 million people who had viewed this feed, and was talking with people who were typing in about hey how was your weekend, and about different things that they had experienced in the game. And it was absolutely fascinating. Where would you get, think about a television show where you're actually interacting with the characters that you're seeing. And what was also interesting is the person who was the host of the show brought other people online and were playing with them through this particular dungeon or instance. And I think, a couple thousand people were watching. So what we're trying to do with Oplerno is slightly different, but also really, really similar in that we're disaggregating these, huge institutional affiliations, and really trying to empower individual faculty members to have their own following, and using different ways to acquire students and followers, so that you can be teaching the classes. And don't think that this is a sideline hobby. This person actually makes their living playing games and hosting the show.
Yeah, absolutely. You have. I think you now have Twitch millionaires as well.
Yeah. It's incredible.
I'm going to put a link to an article on Twitch, by the way, in the show notes. It's a great article from Wired that I read recently. Really amazing stuff about Twitch.
Yeah, it's that sort of the theme. What's happening in the past couple of years is Netflix has completely changed the way in which television shows enter the media. No broadcast TV is so 1980s in terms of it's one way, you don't have a choice. But now with Netflix, if you want to binge watch a series, you can, and we're getting much more diversity in terms of the storytelling and the stories that are being told and who's telling the stories than we ever have had before. So that's some, a really, really good progress being made to create greater accessibility and voices in the media and in society. And we're seeing that with Twitch, and we're also seeing that with Oplerno, and all of which is good. It's part of a zeitgeist that is happening.
Yeah, and you're part of it.
What?
And we're all part of it.
Yeah, exactly.